Hello Rebel and welcome back to my life. If you're not one of my regular viewers, I'm Garrett Robinson. I write books and play video games and make YouTube videos, and I just wanted to say a quick word to super conservative, die-hard supporters of the Second Amendment. What the fuck are you doing? So now is the point in the video where I would normally explain that I'm talking about the recent mass shooting in Las Vegas, but here's the thing. I might not even be talking about that anymore because by the time this video goes up, another mass shooting might have already happened. Oh, it might not be in the news because only 4 people died, or 6, or 10, instead of more than 50. But here's the thing. I actually know another mass shooting already happened because more than one happens every single day on average in America. But it's just gotten to the point where it only hits the news cycle if we hit some incredibly high new bar, like we're playing the most horrific and inhuman sport ever invented, and Bob Costas is telling us we just hit a new world record. In fact, that's the big secret behind the whole conversation that happens after every big mass shooting. You know, well, it's too soon to talk about that, we can't talk about that in the wake of the tragedy. Well, it happens every day, so I guess it's just never the time to talk about it. I have been drawn to the inevitable realization that anybody arguing wholesale completely against any sort of restriction or law or even study about gun violence has just gotten to the point where they are not arguing from any place of fact or logic or reason. If you're arguing, well, it's the Second Amendment and we can't change that, that is just a lie. That is just a lie because the Constitution was created and it was flawed and it has already been changed. Because the Constitution was written by men who owned muskets and other human beings. And we changed one of those things because now instead of muskets, we have weapons that can put out just, hundreds of rounds per second. I don't know. I'm not a gun nut. I'm sure somebody's going to criticize this video based on me stating an incorrect fact about firing rates. What I do know is how many people die. All the time, every day, in America, constantly, and really not in other places in the world. Because that's the other argument that gets made that's just based on no fact or reason or anything, that any form of gun control will do nothing, will not help, will not work, even though it works all over the place, in countries all around the world. Yes, some of them have higher rates of violent crime, but some of them have lower rates of violent crime, and almost all of them have a lower murder rate, and all of them have a drastically lower gun murder rate. Surprise! But I feel so stupid even listing facts and data in this video because we're not talking about that. And we never have been. We're talking about a political agenda which is based on a financial agenda. Here's the thing, diehard Second Amendment supporters and supporters of the NRA and their political agenda in Washington, you have gone so far beyond the bounds of logic and fact and reason that nobody is starting to take you seriously anymore, and even the thin foundation that you did build for your arguments is starting to crumble. When you approve of and support policies that allow guns to get into the hands of people on mind-altering drugs, or who have a history of domestic violence, or who are literally terrorists, nobody takes you seriously anymore. And that is what today's policies allow, and people have tried to legislatively handle those problems specifically and no others. Not some big conspiracy to take away your guns. Literally don't let guns get in the hands of terrorists, and the gun lobby has prevented that from happening. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to lose everything. Absolutely everything. It's going to be so much worse than you're even afraid of. Because people have tried to compromise, to make you understand, to make you see the light, to find some point of agreement where you would be like, okay, well yeah, we can change that. But when you won't even allow that to go through, the other side, which I wasn't even a hardcore anti-gun nut, but I guess I am now, the other side is just going to go, cool, you won't compromise, we're taking everything. It might not happen in the wake of this tragedy, it probably won't since it didn't happen after Sandy Hook, but at some point, there is going to be a breaking point. And if you won't compromise on anything, you will lose everything. Period. Which is, of course, a perfect microcosm for so many conservative causes going on in America today, but that's a whole different video. What happened in Las Vegas is our fault. Our fault, all of us as a country. We have not done enough. And when it changes, it's going to sweep all of this away in just an unstoppable tide. And it's going to happen because people were so connected to emotion, to some animalistic, primal instinct that they couldn't see logic and reason, and at that point lost the ability to be reasoned with until they could only be beaten and overcome. And that's what's coming. So good luck with that, diehard Second Amendment supporter. For everybody else, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a little like and a subscribe. Maybe you can check out another one of my much happier videos right up there, or check out my Patreon right down there if you want to support what I do. I will see you on Monday. Bye!